When you start, you actually don't know what you want, but you have to make space to figure out what you want.
One of the things that you love to discuss is manifestation at hyperspeed.
Creating your unapologetic reality is like by the end of the day, when you sit down, you feel so satisfied with what you've done and you're proud of who you're becoming and what you're doing.
Welcome to Keep Hustling. Welcome to Keep Hustling, where we are going past the why to get to the how. I'm your host, the always hustling Aaron Gordon, aka NY Risk Advisor, aka Mr. Keep Hustling. In this podcast, we will be diving deep into the professional and personal successes of our guests to find out how they hustled through the most difficult times in their life and their development to achieve the success they've gotten to today. So buckle up for what hopes to be an amazing ride. And of course, now and always, keep hustling. Welcome to Keep Hustling with my guest, Jennifer Yeh. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I should have actually opened with Jennifer, aka the Fempreneur Babe, which I love. I love people that embrace their
Personality.
persona, their personality. I'm in the insurance advisory business, and I'm the NY Risk Advisor, and everybody knows me as that. So I really love that, and I love people
love
who are not afraid to let their personality shine through. So I absolutely love that. How's the weather today in Toronto?
It's freezing cold. We have this level of cold is unheard of.
Every single time I speak to someone in the winter in Toronto, I'm like, they always tell me that, and I'm like, nobody told you to live there. I mean, I live in New York; it's pretty cold. But anyway, you are also just want to thank you. You're the first guest in our brand new Keep Hustling studios, so thank you for being that, and thank you for being cutting edge and everything like that. I want to ask you. I want to begin by asking you a question about something that I think is probably the most passionate part of your business. And that is that you've specifically driven towards helping female entrepreneurs become relentless and unapologetic about what they're chasing. And I love that. And I'm going to read the quote soon from your bio. But can you just take us back to kind of where that comes from? Obviously, you are a multiple successful entrepreneur. You have that drive. Where does that come from? Give us the backstory of the Fempreneur Babe.
So the backstory is that I came from a corporate background, just following the traditional path and traditional career for about 30 years of my life, and thought that that is the thing that I should be doing. I did freaking math in college and thought that that was it, and went into finance, consulting, had a very privileged career. But what came through was that I was really tired of just being bossed around and not having the agency to do what I wanted to do in life. And because I felt and I knew that I had that drive and work ethic, and if I could succeed in doing something that I didn't like, then imagine how much further I would go if I was passionate about it. So that was the thing. And I was burnt out and I just wanted something different.
So there's so much to unpack there, and then we're just going to keep going. But what I think is interesting to start is that so many people don't realize that they're unhappy, and they're too scared to take the leap. And what I mean is, I would assume that when you began your career, you wouldn't say that you were unhappy or that you hated what you did. It was just kind of the path. But then
Mhm.
as you start going down that path, very often people begin to realize like, hey, maybe there's something different, or maybe this isn't my calling, or maybe this is fine, but I'm more passionate about something else. So what was it like when you had that realization and then kind of made the decision that you were going to take a leap, which most people, unfortunately, and this is what this podcast is about, most people unfortunately don't do that. Most
Mhm.
people say, I- most people, then don't know what they should do. And what's more painful to me, for me as the host and the kind of hoping to be the driving force behind the lifestyle, the mindset that is Keep Hustling, is when the people do know what they're passionate about and can chase it, but they're too scared to. So take us to that mindset of what made you just take that leap.
Mhm. I think what I always tell my clients is this: when you start, you actually don't know what you want, but you have to make space to figure out what you want. If somebody is stuck in the 9 to 5 hamster wheel, that it's designed for you to not have time and space for yourself to think. If you just started thinking and started contemplating and started listening to yourself, listening to what you truly want, life would change for you. So, one thing that I say is follow breadcrumbs of curiosity. It's not like one day I want this and the next day I'm leaping. It's always following the breadcrumbs of curiosity and acclimatizing yourself and build that confidence and rapport with yourself that, all right, I'm curious about this. Let's go follow this. And then bit by bit, you start to understand and you open up a whole another can more warm cans. And a
Can of
whole
worms. I got you. You're Canadian. Everything's backwards. It's fine. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
you open a whole another world where you build that confidence, and then you decide for yourself whether you
So
want to take that leap of faith or not.
I love that. I love that. Now, it's interesting because you're leading towards the idea of manifestation, of thinking, of envisioning what the future can be, of envisioning a better future for and by the way, I assume that we agree that there are some people that are built for that corporate America where they need that stability in order to chase their dreams or chase their passions or their hobbies outside, and they're perfectly content going into an office and doing that. And entrepreneurship is not for everyone. But it's interesting because you mentioned to me in your pitch to be on the podcast that one of the things that you, and I'm super interested in this, one of the things that you love to discuss is manifestation at hyperspeed. Now, as far as I know and I understand, those two things are diametrically opposed. Manifesting takes time. And you're saying that you have the key. You're shaking your head. I love it. You have the key. You have the ability. There's a tool there to take that. And by the way, I believe that manifestation holds so many people back because they think that it's going to take so long and doing that at hyperspeed. So take us there.
The fact that you think that it's going to take long is the block. What if it doesn't take long? It's never about time, it's about alignment. It's never about when it's going to happen, it's about, are you ready? And manifestation, basically, it's a very spiritual thing. It's not a mind thing. It's a mind plus, is your body ready? Is your psyche ready? Are you ready to step into that version of yourself? Because are you ready to embody that? It's a very bodied like experience. But when you're able to just tap in and align to that, like, things really start unfolding for you. But it
Yeah,
takes a
but
certain level of focus, a certain level of attuning to that reality for you to start looking at the evidence that comes through.
so then are you saying that there's that the hyperspeed or what most people miss is that it's right there and they don't take it? Meaning, once it takes the time and once you mature and once you have those thoughts, I assume what you're saying is that hyperspeed moment is when you execute that, when
Yeah,
you finally nail it, when you say, "This is where I am. I know where I want to go," and you just you block out everything else. But
yeah.
to manifest that, it still takes time, right? I think. I don't know.
It takes as long as it takes. Some things take time, some things don't.
But at that moment, you're saying you just gotta grab it and go.
Yes, it depends on how fast you're willing to move.
So what is the number one thing other than not knowing where they want to go that you've seen stands in people's ways, especially females, in chasing their dreams?
It's not only about females. This applies to everyone. It's their mind, and it's their self-imposed limitations or illusions. Like, oh, I gotta build a brand, or my Instagram grip needs to look a certain way, and it needs to be polished. I need to market a certain way in order for clients to come in. But what if you can just manifest a client today, tomorrow, this week? Are you ready?
And you're saying, will you be able to hit a home run when the pitch is thrown over the plate? And that's what the manifestation is?
Somewhat, yes. I actually don't know baseball references.
Okay, fine. I'll use can I use a hockey reference? Does that
I'm
work?
not into sports, sorry.
Fine. So when the opportunity is about to fall into your lap, you have to catch it, and you have to be ready to just run with it and
Correct,
not let the outside noise come in. So
correct.
everybody,
You can create your own opportunities.
okay. So how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you know when the right opportunity is there? That's what I think stands in so many people's ways and their fears. They're like, is this the right opportunity? Is this the time?
It's not about having the right opportunity come in. It's about making space and creating the opportunity.
What does that mean? Give me more. Explain it to me like I'm a kindergartner.
Um, it's more like if you want, say, more clients, or you want more money in your business, and say you are a marketer or a coach, you just create offers. You talk about it. You connect with people. Create the opportunity. Create the offers. You want to start a business, okay? Then create a product, create a service that you're passionate about. It doesn't need to be perfect. You can start by selling something for $1. Like, I remember one of my coaches had said, the guy who invented fart app is a millionaire. Like, start with something. Like, it's very simple. It's just as the limitation is what is self-imposed. You can have what you want. Yes, some things do take time, but when you are walking towards it, things really start unfolds really fast.
So and then when it begins to unfold, once you take that first step and it begins to unfold, you have to just run with it and run on that treadmill
Yeah,
and and not I think what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is sometimes in life and in the hustle, it's about getting out of your own way and flowing with it and just right? Like meaning you said you create and then you take
creating
the next step and the
momentum.
next step and the next step and the next step and so often, I think what you're saying, and please correct me if I'm wrong again, is people then, what if? What about this? What if this doesn't land perfectly? What if that's it? And then instead of it naturally flowing, instead of that treadmill helping you pick up speed, you end up basically walking the escalator's taking you up and you're just walking in the wrong direction.
Yeah, or sideways. And that's normal. Everybody does this because we're humans. We're conditioned. We have our limitations. Our brain protects us. We can be in fear, in doubt, in all the limitations. But this is the work. It's who you become in the midst of it.
I love that. I love that. And I think that so many people are just too scared. And if there's anything that we've learned in a post-COVID world, and especially in a what I'll call the Shopify world, is that really anybody can become a millionaire or a billionaire selling products, selling ideas. I mean, coaching. Imagine if you didn't take that leap. Imagine if you decided that you were just gonna, hey, I kind of like this coaching thing. I kind of like helping people. But conventional wisdom says, or the safe bet is that I should stay in corporate America. I also find that many people don't realize that that failing is not the end, and it's okay to fail, and you can actually kind of bake it back up and do those things.
Yeah.
I want to. I love this line in your bio that you sent me, and everyone should just read all this stuff. But here's what I just want to read this because it is so powerful. And then I'm just gonna once I finish just reading this one line, I'm just gonna ask you to go with it. Okay, with
Okay.
me?
Yes.
What I am passionate about: helping women and entrepreneurs be relentless about their mission and vision, and to do the thing that sets fire in their soul.
Yes.
How unapologetically are you willing to live?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Fire soul, unapologetic living. I'm just going to sit back and watch the fire go.
How unapologetic do you want your life to be if you know that anything is possible?
What does that mean? That means unapologetic to myself What does that mean? Take me there, because I love that. I love the fire of the soul, and so many people are so scared to be that fire or to chase that fire or what that fire looks like. I love to talk about people who are like the van lifers.
The fire in your soul is felt first. It's not made up in your mind, it's felt in your spirit and in your soul and in your body. There is a reason why you started this podcast. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing, because you're like, oh my gosh, goddamn, this is the thing. It's like, if I were to live my life right now, if anything is possible, what would I be creating? I would be creating that business. I'm gonna go and talk to this girl. I'm gonna go, like, what makes me feel like, fuck yes. Yes, I did this. Like, I made this amount of money, or I created this business. I just nailed this podcast. I nailed this skill. Like, what gives you that ultimate satisfaction in your life? For me, creating your unapologetic reality is like, by the end of the day, when you sit down, you feel so satisfied with what you've done and you're proud of who you're becoming and what you're doing. And satisfaction is a feeling. And it doesn't mean it's not tied to X amount of money, but that can be a byproduct of it. It's about the feeling. When we are trying to set up our own thing and create our own lives, we're never creating it for an outcome. We're creating it for who we become. We're creating it for the feeling that we want. And that feeling is the satisfaction. Is the feeling of, my soul is on fire, like, by doing this, and oh my goodness, I helped this person go from this to that. Like, the level of satisfaction you get when you do that and you say that and you become that, it's just chills.
I love that. I've quoted multiple times on this podcast. I saw someone sent me a great video meme once of a guy standing on the street, and I would love to have this guy on the podcast. If anyone knows who actually the original video guy in the video is, he said the following: "Imagine how big you would dream if you knew you couldn't fail." And that's what you're saying. Imagine how much a person can achieve if they didn't allow the potential failure. Forget about the actual failure and pushing through it, but the doubts and the potential failure stand in the way. And I love that, because I think that now is the time. Now is the time for people. There's been no better time to chase that or to chase this
You can
and
always
that
go back
internal
to
fire.
corporate. Yeah, you can always go back to corporate America. There's always going to be there. And there's also no shame in, you don't really have, so as a feminine entrepreneur, I do know that women want a certain level of safety in their lives. So there is, what I want to also make sure and highlight is that there's no shame in having a job that is stable and predictable, and at the same time pursue your passion. If anything, when that's done in that frequency of passion and not having to worry about taking care of yourself and the basics, that actually can skyrocket way more than you imagine. Because when there is a lot of pressure, then the goal stops becoming, how can I excel at this craft and provide the best service or create the best product that is a fuck yes for me and my dream product, versus, like, how do I just launch it right now so I can make money. That completely goes in a different direction, because one is rooted in art and mastery and craft, and it builds something that is truly what you want, and the other is more built because it's out of fear and urgency.
Have you found that people see greater success when they don't think they're going to see it, and the people that plan it out the most and think, oh, this is perfectly planned and this is going to be the metrics and this is going to be how I see success, and those people totally, it's the opposite? Like, I've found in the entrepreneurs that I speak to every day that sometimes the people who have you have to have a basic idea or a basic plan, and those that run with it see far greater success than the one who said, this is my 1 day plan, my 1 week plan, my 1 month plan, the metric. Because then you think, oh, if I didn't hit this in 1 month, maybe I should quit, or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, when really 1 month and a day would have knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I think it's less about, you have a far greater chance to succeed when it's less about the outcome, but more about enjoying the process.
So,
You
but
manifest.
what do you say to those people who say that profits are more important than passion? In that, I have bills to pay, I have a family to feed, I have a future, I have a mortgage, I have all these things. How do you combat that doubt or those questions? Because I agree with you, but I hear a lot of the naysayers too.
I think everybody has different levels of risk tolerance. If there is a level that you can't handle and you think that that's gonna really seep into your business, and it also depends on what kind of business you want to create.
Right, but I'm just saying I feel like that there's a certain time when people say, "I wish I could do it, but I can't because of X, Y, and Z." And therefore I have to think about the profits. I have to think about what bills I'm going to pay. And
Mhm.
therefore they never get started.
Then pay your bills and take time out to build your business or create whatever you want.
Do you think that everyone's cut out to be an entrepreneur?
I don't think so.
So
Some people
so
are more rigid in their thinking.
so
Uh,
you think that it's more about flexibility and flow and more about flexibility of mind and
it's
not about risk?
adaptability, flexibility, it's everything. To be an entrepreneur and to become that version, you have to have a levels of resiliency, emotional intelligence, risk appetite, everything. It builds you. So yes, it's not for the faint of heart.
Do you think you got to be a little nuts?
You gotta be a little psycho.
So how do you combat that? The people that say I'd rather be safe than psycho.
I think you can be safe and psycho. You can go and do your 9 to 5, and then go come home and be psycho.
Turn it on. But you're saying that you can't turn it off. That's the dichotomy. That's the problem is that the challenge that we face is that so many people feel like it has to be all or nothing because then like the whole day that they're sitting in their office, they're bogged down with like the depression of being there, for lack of a better term. Like I
Mhm,
really don't want to be here. And then they go psycho
mhm.
in the way we're defining psycho. And like,
Yeah.
how do you balance the psychoness, for lack of a better term?
I think you
Oh,
really gotta find joy and gratitude for your job. I mean, it's putting food on the table for you. It's making sure that you're taken care of. If you have bills, you have a family, it's taking care of your family. So that is something to be really, really grateful about and grounded about. Because and that's the thing that's supporting you so that you can actually go home and be psycho. Otherwise, when that pressure is on and you can't create your own business, it's like it's a lot. So I think I think we go through phases of that, right? So it really depends on like how you see life and your outlook on it. The more and then what if you are super grateful in work and they promote you, you get a raise, all that stuff. It- Everything good comes out of having a great mindset around it.
I love that. What have we missed? What's the biggest tip we've missed and how people can chase their passion?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, what's the biggest tip in helping people chase their passion and put the blinders on that we've missed? What gem have we missed of yours? Of the Fempreneur Babe? The psycho, for lack of a better term.
I think whatever you do, you have to do it from a space of gratitude for every single thing in your life because that's the thing that grounds you, especially if you don't have a stable, predictable income. What's going to really ground you is knowing that you have all the things available for you and being so grateful. The more gratitude you compound in life, the more life just keeps giving. You can compound from $8 and it just becomes something because the thing is that we keep chasing, we forget how much magic is right here and right now. The process that you're in where you are here is exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything that the challenges that you're going through are the exact challenges that God is putting you through, the universe is putting you through to build you to who you want to become and to walk through the doors of success wherever you want to be and what you ask for. So we forget that there's so much magic here. So for the person who hates their job and wants to go home, be a psycho, but complains about the job, they're not trusting the process. They're not understanding that there's magic right there. So much magic is available for that person. And slowly, as they amplify that more and compound more of that, they're going to start seeing that, oh my gosh, okay, work, people love me. Maybe I really like this work. They get a raise, they get a promotion, or then they feel so supported in their cycle business that they're creating that it just takes off. Like, there is so much magic available at every step of the way. We just have to see it. And for those who don't see it and wants to escape their current reality, they're essentially escaping the rite of passage to become who they want to be, and go where they want to go.
I love that. I love that. Jennifer, as you know, we have a closing tradition on this podcast where we ask our guests to leave us with their favorite motivational or inspirational quote. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for everything you do. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for jumping on this podcast. Thank you for joining us in the new KHP studio. And everyone should check you out. Check out the socials, follow the content, and the floor is yours.
Thank you for having me. The quote is by my mentor. She said, Melanie Anlayer, and she says, "Leaders are bridges and bridges are tested."
I love that. I love that. Leaders are bridges and bridges are tested, but you can
Yeah.
depend on them too. This has been another episode of Keep Hustling. Remember, do well by doing good. And of course, and always, keep hustling. All right, hustlers, that brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. If you have any suggestions, comments, or even just want to say hello, please feel free to reach out to us on all social media platforms. We are Keep Hustling Pod. Until next time, stay curious, stay hungry, and keep hustling.